going to share you, guys and girls, a dream that I had. Tonight, you'll be experiencing a dream. A weird dream that I had in your own perspective, as if you're inside it. So, it's essentially a dream where you end up in this weird school where strange things kind of happen. So, let's get into it. You're gonna be now inside my dream. I'm putting it to you, putting you into this dream right now. Now you're inside it. Imagine you wake up. It's a normal day, first day of school. You happen to be inside a college or institute or university. It is your very, very, very first time that you happen to be enrolled in this place. You are curious to what it is like to start a brand new semester in this place. So it is day one. You look at your phone, and the first thing that you decide to do is to look at your class schedule. And above your phone, the top side of your screen, it says 11:20 a.m. And your class is about to start in 10 minutes at around 11:30 a.m. So you are around the right floor in the campus building. And as you try to navigate throughout the campus building, you notice that a lot of the lecture halls or classrooms seem in awkward places. And that's the first thing you see. You notice something off about the school. These classrooms and lecture halls you see have no walls, as if they are open, and you can see every lecture if they would be happening. So some of them have no walls, absolutely no walls, just an open classroom. Others directly outside the entire building. In some lecture halls, behind two doors, and some even upstairs, where half is downstairs and the other upstairs. And on top of that, you can see floors that are below you. Let's say that you are in floor 5 of the building. You can see the lecture hall like that, one floor below. And at one point, as you are trying to find your way towards your classroom, you see one hall where there is a blackboard. And on that blackboard are written equations of physics that you've never seen before. And you don't like physics, or it could be any subject that you dislike, such as math or history or any subject that you disliked, or at least one that you've not studied before. And you continue walking, and you can even see lecture halls floating outside, literally floating. The per second squared, that's the value of g, does not apply here. And you keep navigating, seeing all these misplaced lecture halls. And after 5 whole minutes, you finally manage to find your classroom. You walk in to your classroom and you see this lecture hall with seats on the right hand side, a gap in the middle, and a set of seats in the left. So you decide to go to the left portion of the room. So the subject that you are having right now, it's either your most hated class or your most loved class. For me, it is a programming class. So you look at your phone to see what time it is, and for some reason it is 11:30 a.m. You are surprised because your class is supposed to start right now, but nobody is still here. There's no one in your room. And you think to yourself, maybe it is the wrong classroom. You look it up. You look up your phone. You see your schedule. It says it is 11:31 a.m. And now it should start. And in fact, it is the right room. I actually don't remember what room it is, but it is the right room. So maybe the class is late, or maybe there is an email that you have not checked. Anyways, you're kind of new to this place, and so you decide to wait and flip the hourglass one more time. So you kind of wait, but after a straight 10 minutes, still nobody shows up. And again, you decide to double check your schedule to see if you literally misseen the room. Like sometimes you might have switched the digits of the room number or the building number, and you try to refresh it, and then something happens. Something has changed. Your schedule has been changed. It's not that the class that you happen to be in is like removed or something like that. Yes, your class happens to be removed entirely from your schedule, and now it is swapped. Instead, it says that you have an appointment with an advisor at 11:45 a.m. And as you hover over your mobile phone screen, you see the advisor name and an ID and a star rating. You kind of get confused why there is a star rating, as if like the school assist may be showing you the star rating of every staff member that you're going to have an appointment with. It's like, oh no, you get a warning of how bad or good the advisor or staff member that you will meet. And oh boy, the moment that you see that only 2 stars are yellow and the rest are black, doesn't give you a very, very comfortable position. It says that there is a 2-star rating of that person. And so, oh no, you have a meeting. What could it be? Maybe for orientation or planning your semester, or probably or something like that. And so you happen to find the meeting link, Please wait. It is almost 11:40 a.m. But as you look at your time, for some odd reason, the room suddenly turns noisy. And all of a sudden, you see a lot of students come in and enter the classroom. Mostly, they all sit at the right-hand side, but a few of these students happen to sit beside you or nearby. One girl, one boy, and another girl, and some other ones. And more people show up. It's as if it went from a silent room to a room full of people, packed with students. Maybe it's in fact it is the class that you're supposed to have in. And you do happen to ask the person nearby to validate, is this classroom, is this the right class? Or you say the title of the class to try to confirm that you are in the right class. And then they said that it is a very different class. You kind of forget what class it is, but it is totally unrelated. For example, if you are if you're taking social science and you are trying to attend a law classroom or something, this class would have been something like physics. It's something totally opposite. So they say that, no, I'm in a totally different class. It's not in your program. And now it feels like you are screwed. It is 11:44 a.m. on your time, and your appointment is in 1 minute. And so you decide to rush out of the classroom and try to find a nice, sweet spot. Thankfully, as you go up the stairs, you see one of the weirdest open lecture halls. And you see a spot where you could sit out from there, and at that point all the noise, or most of it has gone. And so at least you find something, a quieter place, and it is like the place that you find is an empty lecture hall with just two people at opposite sides. And this lecture hall, although it is quieter, it is not perfectly silent. And so you pull up your laptop, pull up Zoom, and again click on the link of your appointment with the so-called advisor. Okay, so you happen to start your appointment, and that girl, it is a woman at the other side of the table, and she says hi, hello, and you say hello. Why is my schedule changed or something? And then she tells you, oh, you're not supposed to take that class. You're supposed to take a preparatory filter class. And this class only has one component, a final exam. And what, you happen to be so confused. What is wrong with this school? Am I enrolled in this program? That's it. How come this is so confusing? And then she tells you this class is meant to be a filter class where it determines whether you are going to be admitted or not. So that kind of rings a bell, like, are you really enrolled in this program or something like that? Are you fully accepted? You get super confused, and right off the bat, the appointment ends, and for some reason you happen to not remember much until the moment that you happen to be at the exam, literally switching timelines right and forth. And now the exam starts, and you're looking at a couple multiple choice and a few short answers. So you've turned the first page. You see, okay, it's very simple. It is a simple English grammar correction question. You happen to answer that. Basically, correct the punctuation and you put a comma there, and then at first it's super easy and things seem to be normal. Maybe it's just an English placement test or something like that. And then the moment you turn the page, you see all kinds of gibberish. At one point you see a question of something that you've never seen before. It asks you, can you please determine what is the output of the circuit? And it has some sort of gates or something, some weird gates that you don't really get, like has those weird crescent shaped and a triangle and some odd shaped, and you kind of remember probably it's an OR gate or a NOT gate, but besides that you don't know anything. The circuit is super complex that you just don't understand it, and you decide to skip that. And there is another question, and this one, it is a totally different subject. This one makes you it's something English related, but it has to deal with character conflicts or in a story or something like that. You don't remember the exact question, but it is something related to a literature-based question, basically asking something about the character in this excerpt of a story, and you don't really remember how he answered it, but somehow you managed to answer in a short sentence. And then the next question happens to be some sort of sorting question where you have to write some programming code of some weird algorithm that you've never seen before, something like an expert would do. And oh boy, you get super confused, you get lost, and now you decide to panic. And as you flip through every question, it feels like the exam is going nowhere. It is going nowhere. And the last question is some sort of question about some sort of the geography of Canada, and at least you managed to answer a few questions about the history of Canada, where some sort of this Ontario or something has split into Upper and Lower Canada. It's actually something that you recall from high school, and at least you managed to answer that question. But I've heard that all of the questions you happen to not remember anything at all. So the very next day or whatsoever, you happen to wake up feeling super lost on what the hell went. Like the exam went nowhere. And you decide to just brush it off and try and go to school again. Maybe it is just like a placement test to test your IQ or something like that, and you try to go to school. But as you try to go to school, something happens. Your phone rings, and you try to answer it, and the other person says, "Oh my gosh, something's wrong. I'd like to talk to you." And happens to be the same woman that you've talked to at the meeting yesterday. And she tells you that you missed part 2 of the exam. Like, this exam that you had yesterday was actually one part out of 2 parts. That exam actually had 2 parts. One at 11 or 12, like before 12, right after the meeting. And that's such a weird thing. Like, you just realize that part one of the exam that you just got teleported was right after the meeting at noon. And then there was another part where you had to go at 9 p.m. to complete part 2 of the exam. And she tells you that the exam was inconclusive or something like that. And then after that, she tells you we will decide what's going to happen with you or something else. And for some reason, your dream ends there. And your eyes open and wake up. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This has been a dream that I had a couple nights ago. Kind of wanted to share it to you and make you imagine it in your perspective and deliver some of the soothing ASMR triggers that you can experience. So hopefully this will make you sleep, ease off your sleep debt, and pay off the balance, your entire balance of your sleep credit card. And that's my goal for this channel. ASMR 4-minute videos to make you sleep. So if you want to see any new content and not miss anything, consider subscribing. It'll generally be appreciated. And if you are a returning video and been seeing all my other videos,